This video has some advising information for the psychology major for transfer students. Once you have declared your psychology major, the psychology major requirements will be displayed on your DegreeWorks audit. These include 2 lower division courses, research methods, at least 1 course in each of the 5 pillars of psychology, a capstone class, Psych 492, the major exit survey, and up to 3 or 4 elective classes, either free choice in the general major or to fulfill an emphasis in the major. There are some special issues transfer students should consider. One is whether you want to declare the psychology major with an emphasis or keep the general psychology major without an emphasis. The general psychology major is considered more flexible because it allows you to take any psychology courses as electives rather than having to select from a specific list, and it also requires 1 fewer course. If you have already transferred in some upper division psychology electives, this may be the best choice for you to avoid delaying graduation. But if those electives already fit within a particular emphasis, then maybe you are on your way toward gaining that emphasis. Every psychology transfer student is unique, so please consider your specific situation. Note, however, that you can always take any psychology courses you are interested in. The classes are not restricted by emphasis, so even if you don't have that specific emphasis declared, you can still take coursework related to a particular area you are interested in. A second thing to consider for transfer students is that USD requires 48 upper division units for graduation purposes. If you have mostly transferred in units from a community college, that coursework is going to be considered lower division because it relates to the first 2 years of coursework towards your degree. That means you might need to seek out upper division courses to fulfill any remaining core requirements you have, or as general electives to make sure you fulfill your 48 upper division units required. You can talk to your psychology advisor about courses that might double count in the major or core. If you need fewer units to graduate than you have left to meet the core and major requirements, which sometimes happens to transfer students. We also suggest carefully looking at your DegreeWorks audit to consider several types of questions. One question is whether all of your transfer coursework is listed. If you believe that you have taken some transfer classes that are not showing up on your DegreeWorks audit, you might need to send in your final official transcript from that institution to the registrar. If you have classes listed on your DegreeWorks audit that you think might count in the core curriculum that are not currently satisfying that requirement, you should submit the transfer course evaluation e-form to have the course assessed to see whether it would satisfy that core requirement. You should have had a transfer advisor work with you when you first transferred to USD who would have told you about this process. Perhaps you still have some emails you could look up for links to this form. It's up to you to submit each course through this form to have it assessed at USD. You may also have psychology courses that are transferred as ELCT, which stands for elective, or perhaps as a specific core requirement labeled, for example, as Core ESBI, which stands for the Core Area Attribute of Social and Behavioral Inquiry. But in order for these courses to satisfy the major requirements and to serve as prerequisites for psychology courses, they need to have a psych label. For example, Psych 101, not Core ESBI. If you have psychology coursework on your DegreeWorks audit that is not labeled as psych, you should also submit the transfer course evaluation e-form for each of these classes to have the course evaluated to see whether it would transfer as a psychology course. Another question to consider is if you have classes that are labeled as psych classes on your DegreeWorks audit that are not listed under the major requirements. If so, you should contact your psychology advisor or the department chair to see if these courses could count in the psychology major. If some of these courses are lower division coursework, specifically often numbered Psych 291, note that this happens when courses are transferred from community colleges. These courses cannot be transferred as equivalent to USD classes, even if they have a similar title, because they are considered lower division. but they might, however, be substituted in for requirements if the content of the course is similar. If these courses end up substituting in for the requirements, upper division requirements in the USD psychology major, that means you may need to make up the upper division units required in the major by taking more psychology electives. This will help you meet USD's graduation requirement of at least 24 upper division units in major coursework, as well as 48 upper division units overall. Transfer students should especially be aware of USD's advising and support resources. The Torero Hub has a website for transfer students that details a lot of information that is helpful and relevant. You also have a psychology academic advisor where you can take questions about the psychology major, and they would remove your advisor hold that is placed on your account each semester before registration. We also have a psychology webpage that has a lot of advising resources. It also contains information about research labs and information about internship course. The College of Arts and Sciences also has CAS advisors or CAS advisors who can answer questions about the core and about different types of transfer rules. The College of Arts and Sciences advising webpage again has a lot of helpful information, and you can make an appointment with a CAS advisor there. You should talk to your TCC Torero counselor for advice, or go to the Torero Hub if you have questions about financial aid, tuition, if you need help using the registration system, or you're getting any kind of system error or malfunction while trying to register. USD also has a pre-health advisor who can help students interested in pre-health professional fields. We have an international center to help students who are interested in studying abroad to find a location or coursework. And we have a career development center that runs the Compass program that's required for graduation and can help students and alumni with things like writing resumes, finding an internship, and interviewing for a job. All of these resources are open to transfer students, and they should be taken advantage of to get the most out of your undergraduate degree.